Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com for opening day of the spring meet, Friday, April 7th. Tom Leach here along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting. We'll start with the ninth race, the first stake of the meet, the Grade 3 Transylvania for 3-year-olds going 1 mile and a 16th on a turf course that probably will be a little less than firm anyway. The rain is supposed to end, I think, by Friday morning, but still going to be a chilly opening day before better weather comes in on Saturday and Sunday. And, Jim, we've got a horse that won the Breeders' Cup race in this division for 2-year-olds last year, an Oscar Performance, making his 3-year-old debut. Can you beat him?
Yeah, this is actually a pretty good race for a Grade 3. It's more like a Grade 1 because we actually have the first, fourth, and fifth place finishers from the juvenile turf. I think Oscar Performance, the soft turf will help him because it seems that he's got the best speed in the race. He's been off since Breeders' Cup, so you kind of look for alternatives because he hasn't been out. But I think gate speed and the fact that he's already won on a yielding turf course at Belmont last year and won easily with a 90 buyer in the Pilgrim, I think he kind of towers over this field right now. If it's real firm and somebody runs with him, possibly the outside horse, Cowboy Culture, might have enough speed, and Sonic Boom is the other horse with some speed. Looks like to me Oscar Performance could get an easy lead, however. Ticonderoga, the 5, I was really wanting to pick him because he did have a nice tune-up in the Palm Beach at Gulfstream, and even though he finished 4 lengths behind Oscar Performance, he was way out of it in the Breeders' Cup turf and finished within 4 3/4. So Chad Brown will certainly have him ready. So I think it's a 2-horse race with Oscar Performance and Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga might be a little better priced than Oscar Performance because of the Breeders' Cup finish last year. Cowboy Culture, Profiteer is an interesting horse, too, for Shug McGahee. Johnny Velasquez rides, almost won at Tampa, almost beat Sonic Boom, and came from out of it. So I think he'll set a tracking trip on the rail, and Velasquez is nobody better. So it's a nice race. I think Oscar Performance is probably the favorite and deserving so here.
I'm going to try to beat him with Ticonderoga. I like the experience edge with having that start under his belt. And I talked to Chad Brown for an interview that's out on Keeneland's social media, and he talked about how this horse has matured quite a bit from last season. And I thought his win in his 3-year-old debut with the Palm Beach was an easy one, and it was a lifetime best buyer figure of 87, too. So I like seeing that for a 3-year-old making the first start of the year. Oscar Performance is the one you got to beat, certainly. I would maybe take one more horse into pick 4, and that would be Cowboy Culture. I like that horse going into that last race at Gulfstream, and I don't know, they didn't like the track, had a little bit of a rough trip, whatever. If he could run back to his previous races at the fairgrounds, he could be interesting. Profiteer, I think, depending on how deep you want to go in the pick 4, you'd use him and Sonic Boom. I know Ian Wilkes was real high on Sonic Boom, wanted to run him in a Breeders' Cup last year and couldn't get in, and he thinks this horse has the ability to run with these. I talked to him about McCracken, and we also talked a little bit about this horse, and he thinks this horse has the ability to be right up there with Oscar Performance and Ticonderoga, and basically said it's time to find out if he does or not. So he's one that you might take a little longer look at, but Ticonderoga is going to be the win pick for me. Now, the pick 4 starts in the 7th race. There's a pick 4. I think TVG sponsors this every Friday. So guaranteed $200,000 pick 4 for this
Correct.
opening day card. And it starts in the 7th. I'm going to go 4 deep in there. I ended up going to Elusive, turning back. I like those horses turning back from longer races, and this is a horse coming out of a mile race, turning back to 7 furlongs. So I like that angle, but certainly didn't think it was a cinch. Pauline Revere, the 7, caught a good one in the debut, and I think could improve. Noel's Mischief, Cassie Barn wins at 19%, second time out. This one got bet in the debut, so I could see any of those 3, and I might throw in True Boots as well, the 11. The next race, I think it's 2 horses. Looking for a Kiss is my pick over Mutarami, but I think one of those 2 wins it. Then I'm going to take Ticonderoga, Oscar Performance, and Cowboy Culture in the Transylvania, and then use 3 horses in the last leg. Kirby's Penny, the 11, Heartbreak Hill, the 3, Stella Nova, the 8, who comes off a 7-length debut win, and was a much lesser circuit, but just might be really that good for Kellen Gorder, so I want to throw that one in there too. How about your pick 4 ticket?
Yeah, we're actually pretty close. I went 6 deep in the first leg. It's a maiden special weight at 7 furlongs, kind of a tricky distance. There's a couple of first-time starters in here, so you might look at the board. I like the way Ben Huffman structured this card with the start of the late pick 4, a maiden special weight with a couple first-time starters, so you can look at the board before you make your wager. But I went 6 deep in here. I could have gone a little bit deeper, but I went 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. And I think Tiger Eyes for Catalano is my choice off that Fairgrounds race. Only got beat a half length at this level. Went off at 9-5. Got plenty of early money there. Florent Giroux rode down there, and Catalano puts his son-in-law Channing Hill on, and Tiger Eyes back here. So he would be my top choice. But Pauline Revere, you talked about catching a good one. Salty came back and won a stakes race out of that race at Gulfstream. So Pauline Revere did catch a tough field the first time out. But I also would use Defy. I would use Noel's Mischief, the 8 for Cassie, the 9 at Elusive, your horse, and the 11, True Boots for Kenny McPeak. So 6 deep there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. I totally agree with you on the 8th, and that's my key race with Mutarami the 3 and Looking for Kiss. It's like it's a 2-horse race, so you can cut back on your ticket by using those 2. In the 9th race of Transylvania, I did go 4 deep there. So I used the 1, 4, 5, 8 Profiteer, Oscar Performance, Ticonderoga, and Cowboy Culture. And in the last, I went 3 deep with Stella Nova, the 4 for Kellen Gorder, the 11, Kirby's Penny, which would be my top choice, with Ortiz riding for Wesley Ward, and Big Blue Arrow, the 12 for Darren Miller. I always like Lescano here the first couple of days. He seems to bring his game with him from southern Florida. So I'm going to throw in Big Blue Arrow, the 12 at a price. So that's a 6 by 2 by 4 by 3 ticket. So something like 48 times 3 is $72. Is that right?
I think so.
6 times 2. Yeah, it's a little more than I meant to spend, but I couldn't find a single in there. So if you want to go a little bit less, you pick between the 3 and the 8 in the 8th race. But I would not take out either one of those. I would use both of them.
And then Saturday, we'll have another podcast. We'll have one of these podcasts for every day of the spring meet. And Saturday is a big day with the 5 graded stakes races, and then we'll also touch on the Santa Anita Derby and the Wood Memorial. And there's a great betting day on Saturday at Keeneland. There's an all-stakes pick 4, right?
Yes, all-stakes pick 4 for $300,000 guarantee, an all-stakes pick 5 with a $400,000 guarantee, and those encompass all 5 stakes races. So you got to start the pick 5 a little bit early. We normally do 5 races, but because of the graded stakes, we start it in actually the 6th race for the pick 5. So it goes 6 through 10, ending in the Bluegrass, and the all-stakes pick 4 is 7 through 10, ending in the Bluegrass. And if you blank on those 2, we got a late pick 4 going the last 4 races. So 7, actually 8 through 11. So we can get your money a lot of ways, or you can make a lot of money a lot of ways. It's a really good card, and the Bluegrass has 4 outstanding horses. I think any of them could be one of the favorites in the Derby if they come through on Saturday.
Make sure that you have the Keeneland Race Day app on your smartphone to wager and keep up that way, and then KeenelandSelect.com when you can't be at the track or out at the simulcasting, which is at the Red Mile here in the Lexington market. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach. That is the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.